I'd like to bring up, and for a couple years now, we do not process out. So we're going to have our closing statements and we actually have two people that are going to speak to close us out. Then we'll actually present the whole class as a group and finish up. So I'd like to bring up to the stage Jared Levi. And Caitlin Zacharewski. You both come up, please. Yo. All right. This is way scarier than I appreciate. Right. Good evening, parents, teachers, our honored board members, distinguished guests, and undistinguished guests. You know who you are. I want to thank you all for coming to what is the first step in the rest of our lives. And this time we don't need a coffee table to help us out. All right. To my dear classmates, I'm honored to have been chosen to give this closing speech. When I found out I was expected to talk to you for 2 to 3 minutes, I decided to take the task very seriously, work very tenaciously. So last night I began writing, and with the help of YouTube and a lot of coffee. So here it goes. Now I know by now many of you are bored and just dying to get out of your seats. So, but I want to read you a quote from a speech that I found last night. Typical me. You cannot let a fear of failure, or fear of comparison, or fear of judgment stop you from doing what's going to make you great. You cannot succeed without this risk of failure. You cannot have a voice without the risk of criticism, and you cannot love without the risk of loss. And a lot of people will tell you to do what makes you happy, and a lot of it will be hard work, and we won't always be happy. And I don't think you should just do what makes you happy. I think you should do what makes you great. Fail in the way and in the place that you would want to fail. You have worked hard to get here, some more than others, and some to the point of nearly imploding, like Tyler. At some points, it was a question of whether or not it was worth it. Now we're here, and it's a bittersweet moment where I feel extremely proud of what we've accomplished and devastated that it's over. I leave you all hoping that you keep these memories in your heart and you keep collecting special moments to share when we all meet again. Because no matter how far we go, we're united as the BSHS class of 2014. Congratulations and good luck.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, teachers, administrators, my fellow classmates, and the graduates of 2014. It is a great honor to be able to stand in front of you and close on such a memorable day. As I sat down and tried to write this speech, I originally thought finding something to talk about would be the problem, but it's weird because the more I sat and thought about it, the more things I wanted to say to you all. But there are two important things I would like to remind you of before we part today. First, don't be afraid to take risks. Somewhere along the line, I heard the quote, William Arthur Ward said, "To laugh is to risk appearing a fool. To weep is to risk appearing sentimental. To reach for another is to risk involvement. To expose your ideas, your dreams before a crowd is to risk their loss. To love is to risk not being loved in return. To live is to risk dying. To believe is to risk despair. And to try is to risk failure." He finishes his poem by saying, "But risks must be taken because the greatest hazard is to risk nothing at all. The person who risks nothing, does nothing, has nothing, and is nothing. He may avoid suffering and sorrow, but he cannot learn, feel, change, grow, or live. Only a person who risks is free." So, class of 2014, I challenge you to take risks. Step out of your comfort zone and make a difference in the world. I challenge you to be a fool by laughing. Show compassion and cry when it's necessary. Get involved and encourage others to do so as well. Expose your ideas and do not worry about what others think. Love always. Live because you only get one chance to do it. Believe that all things are possible. And finally, give it your all, no matter what you're doing. Do not succumb to the idea that failure is the end, because it's not. If there's one thing I've learned from high school, it's that failure is rehabilitating. You get back up after the fall and do better next time. So take risks. And the final thing I would like to remind you of today, as others have also said, Do not forget where you come from. Some of you are off to college, others the military, some will go into the workforce, some of you are beginning families, but I urge you to always remember and cherish what Berkeley Springs High School gave you. At the ends of your rows, you see some of our teachers. Along with many others, these are the people that have cared, loved, and believed in us for the past 4 years. And ultimately, they are the reason we are here today. They act not only as teachers and administrators, but are mentors and friends as well. They are a part of Berkeley Springs High School. Look around you at the classmates, all around you. Most of us have been together for the majority of our lives. As you walk out of here today, do not forget the friendships, relationships, and bonds you've had with these people. Through tragedy and celebration, we have conquered it all together. We are a part of Berkeley Springs High School. And finally, look into the crowd. There sit your family, friends, and loved ones. No matter where you go, how far away you are, what you're doing, remember, those are the people who will support and love you no matter what mistakes, risks, or failures you come across. Every person that is here wants you to succeed, and that's why they're here. We are all a part of Berkeley Springs High School, and we are all in this together. Do not forget that. This is not the end, this is not goodbye, but this is a celebration for the next step. Congratulations, class of 2014. I'm proud of you all.
Thanks, Katie. Jared, when you popped your popper, this fell out. I appreciate the tip, I really do. You might want that. And you're the class treasurer. Class treasurer. Y'all wondered where all that money went, didn't you? Okay. I said I wasn't going to give advice, I lied. One bit of advice. I give reunion tours of the school because people that graduated in the 60s, 70s that don't have kids here come back and walk around this school. My advice to you is stick together. I will keep this, Ms. Stotler, thank you for putting this together. I will keep this, and I know not every one of you got a marble, but I know it symbolizes all of you. I'll keep this on my desk the rest of my career. Okay? And I'll remember this class for a long time. Okay? I want to make sure you understand that you need to stick together, though. The marbles are in the jar together. Stay that way. Okay? Don't just hang on your 4 officers to make sure you do reunions and stuff. Everybody work together and get it done. Stay together. Okay? Because you're a group. One last thing before we close you out. If anybody, we're a Memorial Day weekend. We do this as a tradition. If any of you are a former armed service, or you're current in the military, or for you that are graduating, if you are going in, would you please stand up for just a second? Would you please stand up? Would you give these people a round of applause, please? For service to our country. Thank you for doing what you're doing for us. Graduating class. This is also a tradition that we've started. Katie stole my thunder because she said what I needed to say. If you're in some foreign country in a couple months and you're feeling lonely, if you're at college, even though party school at WVU, you might not be lonely, but you could be. And you're lonely. If you're working 40 hours, 60 hours a week, and you're driving yourself crazy, and you feel like, I'd like to give you a mental image, stand up, the class of 2014, stand up, turn around and look. Katie said to look back. I'm going to make you turn around and face them. I have told you all year long that this community loves you and supports you, and if you don't believe me, just look. Give them a round of applause for what they're doing for you. Everybody in the stands and in the seats, thank you for all that you do for us and you do for these kids. It means the world to us. Turn back around. Are you ready? By the power vested in me. I don't know if I have any power vested, but by the power vested in me. And I'll pronounce, no, that's wrong one. Okay. By the power vested in me by the state of West Virginia, the Morgan County School Board, and Berkeley Springs High School, I would like you to grab your tassels at this time, moving from the right to the left. I present to you the class of 2014. Parents and family, come on down with your kids.